Let's go to New Orleans. And this is a game that we were surprised there wasn't. Oh, by the way, Alabama -6.5 early line over Texas in that one. This is a game that we were surprised doesn't have any sort of preseason line action on yet. Um, I think this is going to be a fascinating line. Ole Miss at Tulane, September 9th. This is also an afternoon game on ESPN2. So while you're watching Texas A&M and Miami, you can flip over to this one or vice versa. Fun uniforms, fast football, a lot of really talented guys flying all over the field. That's going to be the Rebs and the Green Wave in this one. I tell you what, Lane Kiffin, he can't recruit high schoolers, but he does a really good job recruiting the portal. There's just no doubt about it. He went
Fair.
out and got guys like Deshaun Gaddy from North Texas to come in and shore up that back end in the secondary. Meanwhile, Willie Fritz nearly left for Georgia Tech, right? They kind of blew it by saying, no, you can't coach in the Cotton Bowl. And that gave him enough pause to allow Tulane to rally and get a contract extension together. Michael Pratt's back for another season. I think a lot of people universally are a little bit more down on Ole Miss heading into this season than they might have been last year. They're going to have like 17 quarterbacks taking snaps this year, so do with that what you will. But I'm really pumped to watch Tulane at home get a shot to knock off the Rebs. I think this is going to be a very, very close game. Again, I don't have a line to compare it against, but I would really like to tune in and watch some of this, especially to see what Tulane can do against Ole Miss.
I bet the line, if I had to guess, I bet the line will be about Ole Miss 10 and a half, 11 and a half, somewhere in there. Just not a professional odds maker by any means of the imagination, but that's what I'd guess. Sometimes these Power 5 at G5 games have really funky lines and very
Yep.
just ones that give you cause for pause as you're looking at them. But I mean, what part of Ole Miss's stretch run last year gives you confidence that they're going to win this one going away, let alone maybe even win this game in New Orleans? This is going to be probably the best atmosphere Tulane has seen in a long time. I know there's probably going to be a lot of Ole Miss fans in attendance for this one as well, but I think Tulane's going to have the place rocking. It's going to be a great test for the Rebels, and if they're not ready, Tulane will knock them off. If they have not solidified who's playing quarterback, if they don't have an offense outside of Quinshawn Judkins, I think Tulane wins this ball game. I think that, we saw firsthand, Mitch and I saw firsthand last year, they went toe to toe with the most explosive offense in college football and
And
weathered the
one.
storm and won the game. They found a way to win the game. I know USC made a lot of mistakes in that Cotton Bowl, but they found a way to win the game when their talent level was, completely offset by USC. And they couldn't stop USC for the vast majority of that game. They got clutch stops when they needed to in the fourth quarter, and they just found a way to keep chipping away at that game. What part of
Yeah,
Lane Kiffin's stretch run at Ole Miss last year makes you think that he should win this one going away? There's nothing to me.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think that your question here has to be: is Tulane minus Ty Spears better than the difference between USC and Ole Miss? Because that seems to be what you're looking at here. That seems to be the issue here with this whole game. I think that when you look at the fact that they're at home, when you look at the fact that they bring back Michael Pratt, and you look at the fact that Ole Miss is bringing in maybe one of the best running backs in the country. I'd say he's probably at least top 3, top 5, depending on where you want to put him versus some of those studs in the Big Ten. They're bringing him in, and run game typically travels, and that should be just fine. But yeah, they're going to be breaking in some quarterbacks. I don't know that they have their quarterback question answered in week 2. If you're a Rebel fan, obviously you're hoping that they do, but I don't know that you necessarily have that. They have the quarterbacks on the roster to be a special team this year. I think Spencer Sanders is very good. I think that Walker Howard could be very good. And so I think that they have a quarterback on the roster who can be very good. The question is, when does he click with the offense, and when does that magic formula come together for the Rebels? Does it come together by week 2? I don't know. I don't know if that's 100% going to be there. So I think you have to look at this one with some pretty green glasses on, and saying that I think that Tulane has a chance to make some noise again and show that maybe last year wasn't entirely a fluke.
Mhm. Michael Pratt had a great performance at the Manning Passing Academy as well. So he continues to develop. It's going to be a fun one. I think that line 10.5, whether or not Ole Miss can cover it, I think the more accurate prediction might be 10.5 drinks per person in attendance. The vibes will be high.
The party will be crazy.
The libations will be flowing in New Orleans. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Gracious, how about